Record. Hello all, my name is Dr. VP Nandini Sundar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss about Introduction to Data Science Part 1. So to start with, let me just give you the title. Intro to Data Science Part 1. Before knowing what is a data science, let me briefly explain you what is data, what is information. Then I'll explain you data science. So data is an unorganized, unprocessed raw facts. For example, you can have R01, R02, then R03. As a novice, nobody knows what this R01, R02 or R03. It is only the alphanumeric letters, that's it. So whenever we attach some meaning to it, then it becomes an information. So we can call the information to be processed, or you can say organized or processed data, which you will be converting the raw facts into the meaningful information. That is how we call this as the information from data. Otherwise, you can just say it as we are extracting information from data. For example, the same R01, R02 and R03, if you just convert it to the roll numbers of a student or the product ID of the student, then it could be meaningful, isn't it? So we are converting the raw data into the useful information. So I'm just assigning the label or the column name to it. For example, this could be the roll number of a student, or it could be the product ID of the various products. Then we'll call this as the information. So data and the difference between data and information is data is unorganized and unprocessed raw facts, whereas information is organized and processed data, which is extracted from data. Okay, now we'll just see the patterns, the different data patterns. For example, if I give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, you are having a specific pattern. You are having an interval of 1 and the pattern goes like this. Otherwise, you can have like this 5, 10, 15, 20, like that. So you are having a different pattern, isn't it? So we can very well identify the pattern based out of data. So this is how you can very well have the data. But all these data, how it is being generated? It is being generated from the government or from the corporate sectors or from the different NGOs or mainly from us also. So this is how from various different sources we'll be having the data that is being populated. Okay, now we'll just see the various data types. The first one being, you will have the structured data. Then the next one is unstructured data. And the third one being geographical data. And the fourth being real-time data. I'll type in the numbers, guys. So you will have real-time data. And the fifth being NLP or the natural language, isn't it? Natural language data. And you can also have time series data. time series data. And the seventh one could be your network data, and the list continues. Okay, you can have very many data. Okay, so these are the different ways you can very well represent the type of data. Okay, so in this slide we have discussed about the difference between data and information and the various types of data. To proceed on further, we'll just discuss about the levels of measurement of data. Levels of measurement of data. So there are only two different major scales of measurement. Okay, the first one being, you can very well call it as quantitative, which is also called as metric data. Metric data, and this could be either discrete or continuous. So discrete could be, discrete means it is finite. Finite. Okay. You can very well count it, or you can say it is countable. Otherwise, you can call it as fixed. Fixed. So, for example, number of siblings for a person in a family. So likewise, you can very well have the different examples. Okay, this is the example for discrete. The other way around, you can very well have it as number of rooms in an house. Okay, so these are all finite and countable. Whereas if you have got another type under quantitative, which is measurable, isn't it? So here it will fall between specific intervals. So fall between specific values fall between specific intervals. So continuously you will have the values. For example, it could be the temperature. You can call it as body or room temperature. Body or room temperature. Or it could be the height of a person. So this is all about quantitative data. The second category could be qualitative data. So this particular data is otherwise called as categorical data. Categorical or group data. So your group means you will have two or more groups falling under categorical data. Specifically, you will have two different types. One is nominal, which is mainly meant for identification purpose. Only for identification purpose. So, for example, you can say addressing a person or calling a person by their name. Then the second one could be ordinal. This is both for identification as well as ranking. Especially it involves ranking. For example, prices. The various prizes won by the sports person, or rank obtained by students in a specific class. Okay, so these are all the two different types. So one is quantitative data and the other one is qualitative data. So this is how you can have the different categories. Okay. One is quantitative, that is metric data. I'll just make it to old color only, red color, so that it will be clear to you. Quantitative metric data, discrete or continuous. So discrete means finite, continuous means falls within specific intervals. The second category could be qualitative data, that is categorical. Group data, two or more groups, nominal for identification and ordinal for ranking. Then we'll see the next title, which is data volume. Data volume. So here you can very well have like this. Okay. Let me expand this. Okay. Okay. So we'll just see how much data is being generated. Okay. So let me see how much data is being generated on daily basis. So assume guys, if you just take Twitter, almost some 500 million tweets that is happening a day. And if you consider emails, it could be some 294 billion emails. And then WhatsApp messages, if you look at it, WhatsApp messages, it could be some somewhere around 65 billion records. Then you can very well have some searches, Google searches, if you see. It could be some 5 billion. Then 4 terabytes of data that can be gathered from a single car that gets connected. Then assume you have got the Facebook. So the number of data could be 4 petabytes. Petabytes of data. So this is all about the data volume. See, look at the volume data, huge data volume that is being populated everyday basis through various medium. Okay. So this is how you will be having the data volume. So in order to just come out with this much of data volume to be analyzed, okay, on regular basis, you need to depend on data science. That is where the necessity of data science arises. So let us quickly start with the definition of data science. So data science definition. So it is a scientific process. It is a scientific process of transforming data into actionable insights. Actionable insights that is being required by the stakeholders. Also, data science, otherwise called as data-driven science. Data-driven science. Okay. So this is how you will have the definition for data science. Okay. So in the what is essentially a data science, we'll just see. That is the role of data science. Role of data science. Okay. So if you just look at this, you can very well have the role here. Role. I'll just write it. Role of DS. Okay. Now we have got this one. We need to just have the past data. So we'll just say past business performance. So we'll just have only the analysis. We'll come out with either descriptive analysis or the summarization. Okay, so we'll just only have the analysis based on statistics, which is the approximation. So we'll have only the approximated data reports. Okay, so we'll have it from statistics. Whereas if you just work on with this data science, how will you get this data science? That is, you will need to predict future performance, predict future business performance. For that, you need to have the insights. You need to give the insights based on present and past data. So always this prediction will happen based on the evidence-based approach. Evidence-based approach. Evidence-based approach, which we'll call it as hypothetical testing. So we'll start with the assumption and conclude the decision by either accepting or rejecting the assumptions that we formulated in the earlier one. So hypothetical way. So we'll be using hypothesis here. That is how we'll get the insights. Okay. So next we'll move on to the other topic, which where all we'll be having the sources, the key sources of data. Key sources of data. So where all you will get the sources. So first one is Twitter. Then we have seen Facebook. Then you have seen this one, right? Like email, searches, Google searches. Then especially from mobile devices. Then sensors. So likewise, you can very well have, or else if you take up some supply chain, you will be having it from purchases or sales. Likewise, you can get it from different ways. You will be getting the sources of data, especially from internet. Okay, trading through internet or business activities through internet. Then the business sources. Next, we'll move on to how this rise of data happened. Data rise. We'll just take some 20 years before and see how this data has eventually grown up. Okay, so let me just give you, start from 2005. We'll move on to 2005. We have got 130 exabytes of information, 130 exabytes of data. Meaning to exabytes is billions. Okay, exabytes, we'll have billions of data. Billions of gigabytes. We'll call it as exabytes. Next, if you just look at some, 5 years later, you can see the increase. Like it has grown from 130 exabytes to some 1,300 exabytes, roughly. Okay. Then the same way, 2 years later, if you look at it, it has grown to some 2,900 exabytes. Then over a period of 3 years gap, you've got 3 times, about 3 times, that is 8,959 exabytes. Okay. Now, last year, it has grown to 40,026 exabytes of data. So this is how the data has been risen. Okay. Now we'll move on to data generation heights. That is, we have seen for the past 15 to 20 years. Now we'll just see the future. Around 2025, it could be 463 exabytes. 463 exabytes of data that would be populated, or you can say it would be generated from various sources. Okay, so this is how you can have. Now we'll just look at what do you mean by data science. So in order to handle this much voluminous amount of data that is being generated across various data sources, we need to have a tool called data science. So with this, we'll be just learning about what essentially makes up a data science. We have seen the definition of data science so far. Now we'll just see what essentially makes up the data science. So it is a umbrella. You can think it as an umbrella which encompasses three major components. Namely, number one, business statistics. Number two, data visualization. And number three is machine learning. So these are all the three different major components which constitutes the total data science. To proceed further, we'll just discuss on the difference between data science and business intelligence. For example, if I just look at it like 1 second. So if you just look at the graph, okay, assume I'm just having x-axis here and the y-axis this side. So x-axis, if I just consider time, okay, and this one could be, here it is past, and now this end I'm just considering it as future. And then now you just also have it as low and high. So now you can very well have this one as business volume. Business volume. Okay. So here I'm just mentioning it as low and this one is high. So now the business volume, or you can say business value, like that. Okay. So whenever you just look at the business volume and this time, okay, if it is minimal, then we need to depend on BI. On the contrary, if the business volume and the time is more, then you have to rely on data science. So for business intelligence, we'll be just coming out with descriptive statistics, descriptive stats, or general summarization or reporting. Summarization or reporting. Summarization, fixed reporting, like that. Okay. Whereas, and also you can very well say, you will have the answer for what has happened. What has happened with the previous data? What happened? You will have the answer for the question, what happened? Whereas for the data science, you will have the predictive analytics. For data science, you will have predictive analytics, predictive analysis. Then also you can have prescriptive analysis. Anyway, we'll be seeing the types of analytics in the forthcoming video. But as of now, I'm just telling you the type of analysis that can be carried out with DS. So this will give you the answers for why, what will happen in future. Okay, what will happen and what should I do with this? What should I do with this existing reports? Okay, so this is how, based on the time and business volume, you will be having the business. If it is minimal, we'll focus on business intelligence. If it is more, then we have to depend on data science. Then we'll quickly have the distinction between data science and business intelligence in a tabular format, so that you will understand it much more clear. Okay, so we'll just have like that. So the first one, if you just look at it, I'll have it as business intelligence. Okay, then the right hand side, I'll just have it as data science, DS. Okay, so BA is always depending on deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning. Okay, whereas DS will always focus on inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning. And also it involves deductive reasoning. Second one is, you can very well say it is backward looking. We are working on with the previous data, isn't it? So it always, we'll call it as backward looking. Whereas DS will always have forward looking. Forward looking. Okay. So this is how you will have the difference. Then the third point could be, whenever you consider the data warehousing, it works on slice and dice data. Slice and dice data, whereas it works on interactive with data. You can say interact with data. The fourth point could be, it focuses on analyze the past, present, that is past, it cannot be present. So analyze the past and guess the future. It cannot give you the full confirmed one. So there is so it will be only guessing the future, not the total prediction. Okay. Whereas data science will predict the future. Predict the future. Then the fifth one could be creative reports. It will create reports Then you can say it creates data products. So you can say it is creates reports. Okay, creates reports, whereas this one will create data products. Okay, and the last one could be it gives us the analytical output. Analytical output. That is a summarization. Okay, whereas here it gives us actionable insights. That is the main difference between BI and DS, and it gives the or creates new ones. Okay, so this is how you will have the basic difference between BI and DS. Okay, the next topic could be types of data. Types of data in data science. So the first type could be unstructured data. Unstructured data, whereas here we'll have text documents. We have seen sentiment analysis, right? So we'll be using sentiment analysis here, or NLP. Okay, text documents. Then it can be gathered from PDF, then images and videos. Okay. The second type could be quasi-structured. Quasi-structured. So here you can very well have the clickstream data. For example, you will have clickstream data. This is also essentially from textual data. Textual data with erratic formats. Erratic formats that can be formatted with software tools. Then the third one could be semi-structured. Neither structured nor unstructured, okay, which is otherwise called a semi-structured data. So here you can very well have like spreadsheets or XML files. Then the last one could be structured data. Structured data. So this one, the example for this could be a typical database. Okay, so this is how you will be having the different types of data in data science. Then the last one could be types of study for structured data. Here you will have the longitudinal study, which is time series study. Time series study, which essentially we'll get it from econometrics. Next one could be panel data. This also can arise from econometrics. And the third one could be the cross-sectional study. So this is how you will have the types of study for structured data. Then we'll just see the types of unstructured data. types of unstructured data. Yes, guys. Now the types of unstructured data are sentimental analysis, competitor analysis, log analysis, speech analysis, search analysis, and natural language processing. Okay. So this is how we can very well categorize the types of study for unstructured data, or you can very well have it for structured and unstructured data. Okay. So to quickly summarize, I'll just quickly tell you what all we have seen today's session. Okay. So we have started our discussion with explaining what is data. Data is unorganized and unprocessed data of raw facts, then information. Then we have discussed about different data types. Also, we have discussed about the various levels of measurement of data, basically quantitative and qualitative. Then data volume, data science definition, role of data science, the distinction between BI and data science, key sources of data, where all you will be getting the huge amount of data. Then how the data has eventually risen from the year 2005 to 2020. Also, we have seen the future prediction, like in 2020, almost 463 exabytes of data would be generated. Then we have also discussed data science in a nutshell. That is, it is an umbrella which encompasses 3 major components like business statistics, data visualization, and machine learning. Also, with the help of time and business volume, if it is lesser, we have to focus on or depend on business intelligence. Whereas if the time and business volume is high, then we have to certainly depend on data science. That is how graphically we have discussed. Then the difference between data science and business intelligence, I have given it the difference in the tabular format. So BI is backward looking, DS is forward looking, and also it is depends on deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning. Then we have discussed about the types of data in data science. Then types of study for structured data and types of study for unstructured data. So this is all for today's session, guys. So I'm sure that you have really enjoyed this video. You have got some important tips in this particular video to start with. So if at all, if you have not subscribed so far, please subscribe, like the video, share it. Okay. Thank you one and all, guys. We'll see with the part 2 of the same topic in the next video. Until then, bye from me. Thank you, guys. Take care.